Hey guys, and welcome. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys some tips and go into some detail around the point blank challenges. Now, point blanks are on every weapon in the game so far, which for me is it. Why do we need 100 point blanks for sniper rifles? Yes, you heard me correctly. You need to get 100 point blank kills for sniper rifles. I think it was a mistake. I don't think it's meant to be there, but at the moment as it stands, if you wanted to get dark matter right now, you need to get 100 point blank kills with a sniper rifle. Anyway, moving on from the snipers, in this video I'm going to try and help you guys do them for the feasible weapons, so all of the automatic weapons, marksman rifles if we need to do for etc, and stuff along those lines as well. I know a lot of people are struggling with them, again because of the lobbies are very sweaty, and two, again, point blanks are a ball ache in general. In Cold War we used to have to do 75 point blanks with just SMGs. In Vanguard we have to do point blanks with everything: LMGs, ARs, SMGs, sniper rifles, DMRs, you get the picture. So I'm going to try my best to help you out. As I mentioned, this may vary due to there being so many attachments and different variations of weapons within Vanguard. It's difficult for me to give you examples for every single weapon because for one, I haven't unlocked and used every single weapon just yet, and two, obviously, yeah, there's a lot of different attachments in the game and some of them are completely different. For example, the STG will have different proficiencies and a kit to maybe the automation, which is another weapon in that category as well. So this will also have different proficiencies and kits in there as well. So it may vary differently between weapon to weapon. However, in some cases, most of the weapons will have the same attachments on, so you wouldn't really need to worry about it. So because I got the STG gold, I'm going to go into detail around the STG to start with, and then maybe I'll dabble with a couple of other weapons as well and give a couple of other suggestions and tips also. So starting of course with the STG. This on screen right now is the class set that I would recommend using for the STG, and this helped me a lot to get the point blank kills. Now, before of course we get into the nitty gritty and go into the tips of how to get them, I want to say that this is a grindy challenge no matter what. There's no easier way out of this challenge. This will require a lot of pain and dedication to get this done, especially on all 30 plus weapons in the game. It's a bit of a ball ache, but unfortunately it is what it is. And this is the best tips I can give you to do it as quickly and as easy as possible. However, it still might take you some time to get this done. So I just wanted to put that out there quickly before you start the video, because I know that I'm going to get one person comment down below saying that this doesn't work and that it's going to take ages no matter what. It will take a while. This is just a tips to make you get more in a game or to be more successful when getting point blanks. So starting off, this is the setup on screen right now I want you guys to look at, and we're going to go through it again. It doesn't particularly matter too much on the attachments that you have. I would recommend potentially having attachments which help with hip fires, and I'll explain why very soon. So with this one, for example, if there is anything on here which it helps you with hip firing, I would put it on. Again, you don't need to hip fire to get a point blank. You can aim down sight also and get one, but it just helps a lot to do that. So again, the class of the weapon doesn't particularly matter a whole bunch. However, I would recommend having a silencer on, and potentially with the different proficiencies. Vital is also a really good one, increased area for critical hits, and fully loaded of course to help out. So they're the two that I would recommend having on. They are very high level attachments or proficiency and kits, so you may not have them unlocked, but if you do, they are the go-tos to have on. Now, going into the rest of this setup, so the knife, this one, the reason why I have this on is so you can run to places a lot faster. Now, on different objective modes such as patrol, or you've got domination, hardpoint, or other ones along those lines, you want to be running to those places as quickly as possible before the enemy gets there. Now, the knife will give you that advantage because you run the fastest with the knife in the game, and if you're there early, it's going to give you a big advantage. Now, I'm going to use an example on Das Hurst. So Das Hurst, if you run directly into the middle, of course the flag is in the center of that map. There are loads of different buildings around the map as well that you can jump into, you can camp in, or whatever you need to do to get the challenge. There's a lot of places you can sit in and wait for people to come around corners and things like that. My advice to you, for example, on that map would be to sit in one of the 3 buildings that are surrounding the center of that domination flag, for an example. I would focus on maybe the 2 buildings that are on either side of the spawn, because again, that's where people are going to be running in and out of from spawn into the middle constantly, and that's where the majority of your point blanks are going to come from. Again, we're going to use the example on the back of the map, and I'll show you the examples on screen right now. Again, inside this particular part, there are loads of different doorways people can run through. Again, this is a really high traffic area. When you see people spawning and running towards there, you also are going to have a smoke grenade on as a tactical. Now, the smoke grenade, again, you are going to throw it down, which allows the enemies to not be able to see around them, which in turn means that you can get behind them without being visible to that person and other people around them, which of course means you can get the point blank a lot easier. This is by far the best method to get point blanks. 100% you need to utilize smokes, because if you don't, you're going to have a real hard time doing it. For me, I use this method every single year, and it works every single year without fail. Use smoke grenades, even if it's not within those buildings, even if you want to throw it on an objective, even if you're playing patrol, for example, and you've got the moving sort of hardpoint patrol thing, throw it on there, or throw it in advance just so the patrol thing's going to go over it, run in there, and that's where you can get your point blanks within the smoke. The smoke grenade honestly will save your life and so much, and it will be your best friend doing point blanks. This goes for any attachment, any weapons you're doing it on, whether that is snipers or SMGs, LMGs, DMRs, or ARs. Use smokes because they will make your life so much easier. Again, you don't need to worry about the lethal, but going on to the perks, this again is quite an important one. So fortified is the first perk we're going to have on. Again, it reduces damage from explosives by up to 15%, damage reduction doubled while mounted, crouched, or prone, and reduced health regen delays from explosives. I would have this on. It's essentially like a flak jacket, so if someone does try and nade spam where the smoke is, you are protected a little bit more by the by fortified as well. For me, it's what I would typically have on. However, if you do find that you're not getting many nade spams and you're getting more like stun spams, then survival training is also a really good one as well, because it maximizes resistance to stun effects, and you're also immune to the gas as well. Going on to the second one, which is tracker. For me, this is an absolute, honestly, tracker is probably the best perk, the most important perk to have on. Again, with tracker, you can see footsteps of where the enemies were and where they've gone to. So if they come through the door and you've dealt with someone else, you can turn around and you can see the footsteps of someone that's just ran around a corner, follow them, and you can see that guy may be there shooting someone or whatever, so you can get the point blank. Tracker is a really good way of obviously tracking down where enemies have gone. And it does help a lot in situations when you have smokes on the floor as well, because if there is a smoke on the floor, you sort of get a highlighted orange footsteps going into whichever direction the enemy have gone. So yeah, tracker and smokes are the two most crutch things when going for point blanks. 100% the best things to have on, so make sure those two are on. Perk 3, tactician. Now this again is also really important. It's not a necessary thing. You can have something like scavenger on if you really wanted to, or even demolition. However, tactician restocks your tactical equipment every 30 seconds. So if you've thrown your smokes, it restocks in 30 seconds. So again, you don't need to worry about picking up or putting down an ammo crate. You don't need to worry about dying and going back. It will just respawn every 30 seconds. So if you get a kill, throw the smoke, get a kill, throw another smoke, and then you wait 30 seconds, it then obviously comes straight back and restocks automatically. So they're the 100% go-tos that I would have on this class. And to be fair, this is the class that I would have on at the time when going for the point blanks. Again, the primary weapon will change. The bottom 4 things must stay the same. They are 100% the best things to have on. And again, use your knife to rush into the objectives or rush to a part of the map where you know the enemies are going to come from as quickly as possible before the enemies get there. The perks, again, these are 3 crutch perks that I would recommend having on. And again, the smoke grenade is needed 100% for this. Again, a couple of different weapons. The STG, as I mentioned, it is a bit of a pain. ARs in general are a bit of a pain, especially ones such as the NZ41, which is a very slow firing weapon. The BAR or the BAR, also very, very slow firing, so point blanks are an absolute ball ache to get. Those sorts of ones are going to really benefit from you using smokes, and also from using these 3 perks as well. So make sure that you are using them. And how could I forget the Itra burst? That thing is going to be a ball ache for getting point blanks as well, just because if you do miss one of the bullets in that burst, it's not going to be a 1 burst. So, and it does fire pretty slow. To be fair, the assault rifles have a pretty tough time other than the STG, the automation, and maybe the Volkstern. You've really got a pretty tough time getting point blanks with this category. So yeah, it's not going to be a fun time doing it, but if you use the smokes and everything else in that class, it would at least make it a little bit easier for you to get. Now, if you wanted to do this with SMGs, exactly the same thing. Use the exact same class, of course. But with SMGs, it should be a little bit easier anyway, because you can run faster. You sort of run and gun a little bit more with SMGs. So I would recommend, again, using the exact same class as what we'll be using with the STG, but then, of course, just changing the primary weapon as well. With SMGs, again, there are a lot of attachments which help with hip fire accuracy. For example, the barrel that we've got on the Thompson or the M1928 at the moment increases hip fire accuracy, and it gives you additional hipfire recoil control. Again, hipfires are the way forward with getting these point blanks. Hipfires are the easiest way of doing it because, again, if you do aim in and try to get the kill at a point blank range, the aim assist will not work properly. If for some reason, I don't understand why it's the case, but the aim assist has a really tough time trying to figure out where the person is, and it messes up, and you sometimes will lose that kill or you will die. I would recommend just going with a barrel which has good hip fire, and also an under barrel as well, which you can also get good hip fire with as well. You can see the Carver foregrip on the Thompson has 1+ hip fire accuracy as well, so that one does help also. Literally go around all of the different attachments and try and find ones with good hip fire. Again, there's one on the grip as well, which is this one, the Pine Tar grip, gives you 1 additional hip fire accuracy as well. And yeah, unfortunately the ARs aren't very good with hip firing in general, and there aren't really any attachments for ARs to really make the most of hip firing. It's mostly an SMG thing. I don't know whether it's going to be the same for an LMG or a DMR. I presume that it will be, but the SMGs of course will be the easiest to hip fire with, and you'll have the easiest time getting these point blanks compared to ARs and the other categories as well. The next point I wanted to go into was around map surfing and just making sure you're playing the right map for these point blanks. It's pointless playing big maps like Berlin or Subpens, or even in some cases Gavutu. It's pointless playing these maps because they're just way too big. Now yes, there are locations within these maps that will help with point blanks, and I'm not saying don't play them, because you can get point blanks on these maps. That's a given, and you can get point blanks in any map, but there are maps that are a lot easier to do it than others. For example, Bocage is a really good map for getting point blanks. You've got loads of buildings that people spawn in and come from, which means you can sit in a corner, or you can kind of like pick out strategically where the enemies are coming from and then try and position yourself in that scenario. You also got Dazhurst. This map is crazy in general. There's loads of spawn traps potential on this as well. And if you're playing Domination, the flag is directly in the middle, and there are 2 doorways which enemies can come through in order to try and get to the flag. So easy for point blanks. Really is a good map. Even Decoy, this is an example that I used earlier on as well. Decoy was a really good map for getting point blanks, and also just in general because you can sit in the 2 buildings opposite each spawn. And yeah, I would typically try and do Decoy or Dazhurst. They're my 2 go-tos. Demyansk is also quite good. You can sit inside the cathedral or inside the building on the other side of the map as well. That's also a really good place to do this also. Hotel Royale is also really good for inside the hotel. Again, that's quite a mental place to be. But again, even on the maps like Berlin or Castle or anything along those lines, there are different places within those maps you can sit and get. Like Castle, there's obviously a whole inside to the castle you can sit inside. So that is a good place for you to try and get them. Just if you want to be more successful in getting them, stick to the smaller maps like Dazhurst, Decoy, and things along those lines. So guys, I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like. And also, if you want to see more videos like this one, or just general class setup videos and just things that, I don't know, that are really cool with good gameplays, then again, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It is free, and I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and I hope this has helped. I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day.